Hi, Sherry. Just thinking, man, I mean, I don't know. Let's just see how this day goes. Um, how are you guys? Can y'all hear me? Remember to guard your privacy. Okay. How are you guys? Isn't today weird? Today, the energy is weird. I just spent like an hour chasing the dogs down. I was like, for a while, I thought, I guess I only have two dogs now. Finally, I found Archie and Max. But there's like all these dogs are so time consuming. I can't even believe it. Every day is weird. Today is extremely well. Stop it. Every day is weird, and it just seems like it gets weirder and weirder and weirder. But today is very weird. If you've seen anybody showing this Schumann, it's intense, man. It is all just big whiteouts, whiteouts, whiteouts with a whole bunch of color. And they all keep being like, it's super intense. Hi, Crystal. Oh my God, my dogs make such a mess. Oh God. I just feel like I live in a giant doghouse. I swear to God. That's what my bunker is, a doghouse. And right now, even this seat, I feel like it is itching me to death. It's like, what is so itchy? God. I feel irritable. I'll tell you, I just feel irritable. The definitely the energy, it feels intense. And then I saw somebody else talking about the energy, not about the Schumann, but in the sense of the one cycle ending and another one beginning. So in the sense of the shedding your old self, that right now it's super intense because it's almost to the end of the cycle. And so she was saying, so you probably feel a lot about she was saying, like, you may want to clean out your closet, you may want to go donate stuff, you may feel like you want to reinvent yourself and all that stuff. I do. I live in a giant doghouse. And so I don't know, I don't know if it's whatever it is, but it's like there's such a hodgepodge of energy and things changing and stuff. So yeah, it is like crazy. So, and, you know, every time I curl my hair, it doesn't hold. I don't get what the hell is going on. I used to be able to just put spray in my hair and then use one of those diffusers, and my hair would be curly. Now it won't hold a curl for crap. I'm so irritable. Oh my God. I'm like so tense and so irritable. It's like, oh God, I swear to God. I feel like this stuff is so intense and it's so cold here and the sky is so weird. I just saw somebody showing a video in California in the sky, and they had the giant, giant thing behind the sun. So I used to show it all the time when I lived over in the cabin. And then people were like, oh, that's a sun dog. That's a sun dog. I was like, what the hell are you talking about, sun dog? That's Nibiru or something behind the sun or something. And now though, the whatever is behind it is ginormous. It's humongous. And then I saw the lady who always shows the Nibiru, the different sky map. And so she was showing some things in the sky and showing like this is other planets. These are other solar systems coming in. So there's just a lot of intenseness, man. And the dogs have got to be feeling it too. And they're driving me crazy. Hopefully now that they went out and ran the neighborhood like crazy fools, that they will be calmer. These people who are have moved out across the street, but they have like a little pond, and it has like a duck and a swan or something in it. And the dogs, I guess, they want to go over and hang out with them. It's like you got the whole river right here with 100 ducks. Did you want to go over to this guy's place? Oh, dogs drive me crazy. Yeah, it does. I feel like I'm about to burst too. I feel like I'm just like somebody like a soda, somebody's been shaking it or something. It feels like, oh, I'm about to burst. Yeah, it feels super intense. And I want to see like, what where are we going? What is going to happen? What where, like what is the new life that we have ahead? Which and I don't know if this is true, but I just saw Donald supposedly came out and said that from now on any man that touches a woman, hits a woman, it's a felony. It's an automatic felony for men to DV. So all those guys at the football, at the Super Bowl, who were all assaulting their wives. But I don't know. But still, the wives would have to make charges. The wives would have to tell somebody. And then when it's even stiffer charges, there's going to be a lot that are going to go, well, no, I don't want to get him in trouble. He was just upset that day. It's like, you got to keep yourself trapped in this cycle. Oh, really? I think that they are making stiffer penalties on stuff. I think stuff is really starting to step up. And this morning I was talking about some guy I saw that he was like before Congress or he was in a deposition or something. And he was talking about all of those people that they were all like Hillary and Joe and Tom Hanks, all the ones like that I keep saying. And I'm not just making it out, like I've heard it from other sources, but he has been posting about it. And then he got called into Congress or whatever. But the same thing. I think that there's a lot of the people who are already gone. And I heard also that because Joe wasn't real, that they are going to overturn 2020, that whole thing, which all the stuff he put into law or whatever would all be overturned. I thought, well, you would think, but I don't know. I don't know. I didn't hear that part. But I did hear this the other day. I was like scrolling on TikTok and I just came across a live. So I didn't sit and listen to it. It was some guy and he was talking about, he looked kind of like a trucker. And I think that, oh, I know. Oh, yeah, there's some manipulative women out there, that's for sure, and abusive. Um, but he was in Pittsburgh, he said. And he said, and he seemed kind of like a trucker or something, but he was saying that he had been flipped off like 8 times that morning. He said, I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh, but everybody's like really angry and it's really intense here. And then I just saw a video right before I started this. And it's like at a college campus or something. And this guy is walking by doing something, pisses this guy off. So he jumps on him and starts trying to fight him. So then the guy goes off. Then people pull him apart. Then he walks and sachets back over again. He jumps on him again. And I was like, oh my God. When I saw this is at Pittsburgh University or something, I said, maybe they are doing something. Like maybe they've cranked up the frequency over there and people are losing their minds. It wouldn't surprise me because the frequency does affect people if they turn it way up. And doesn't it feel kind of like hard to catch your breath? Like to me, it feels kind of hard to catch your breath. Like it just feels like super intense and like, I don't know. But there is, yeah, but there is lots of abusive women out there. And there is lots of people losing their mind. I mean, there's women who are killing their husband, killing their kids. Like, it's crazy out there. Women who are killing their pets. Like, God, it's crazy. Kids doing horrible things. Jeez, the world's gone crazy. And I watched a movie this morning, and I didn't know what it was gonna be about. It's weird because I think I saw it before, but I watch things so many times, and it's like I've seen it before, but I forget. You got a CPAP machine? Oh, you got one just because you can't breathe right now, or do you always have to use one? Um, but the movie I was watching, which I swear to God, this is total disclosure. So it's an old folks home, and the guy who's going there, he's an old guy, and then his wife is young, so she's too young to be there, but he's sickly. He wants to sell her big mansion and move to this fancy, exclusive old folks home. And so, and they have butlers and stuff like that. And he tells his wife he's worried about his health. He wants to be close to people who can help him. Um, yeah, hopefully not forever. And so so then he has a heart attack, and he gets taken to their facility, which they have their own medical, their own doctor, and all this stuff. And he suddenly comes back and he's younger. And this whole story, she keeps figuring out like people are getting younger. And this has been in so many of these movies, so many of these movies with these old folks home. And so she starts figuring out like people are getting younger. Even when she goes to visit her dad, and he's in an old folks home for poor people. And the girl across the street comes out and starts talking to her. The woman comes out and starts talking to her. And she's like, something about where does she live, and she tells her, and she goes, "Oh, that's a place, that fancy place." And she's like, "Do you know Shirley?" And she's like, I think it was Shirley, something like that. Do you, and she's like, "Yeah." And the woman said, "Why? Do you know her?" And she goes, "Yeah, um, it's my mom. It's my mom or daughter." And she's like, "What do you mean? She's your mom?" And the lady goes, "No, she's my daughter." No, she goes, "No, she's my mom. I'm her daughter." And the woman was like, "What?" Because the lady at the old folks' home is old and decrepit. And the woman at the place where she's at, who's the mom of this lady, is not old and decrepit. And so she keeps thinking, and so she breaks in to even go look at this lady's file, and she was born in 1902. So she starts figuring out, and then she starts seeing like the people who work there that come from other countries, of course, and they've got situations at home that they need money. And so they are coming and selling their parts for these people so that these people can live longer and live forever. And so the poor people sell their parts so that the rich people can continue living. And the woman who's figuring all this out and is going through all of this different stuff, she is like against the whole thing. She can't even believe that they've done that. And then they got her pregnant using somebody else's uterus or something. And then, so she's very upset. She moves out. She leaves her husband, goes and starts raising her kid. Well, then her kid gets sick. So then she turns around and goes back to the place to get somebody else's parts to fix her kid. And I was just like, that is just so much about the ethics of the medical. People have a whole one attitude towards it till it affects them, and then they have a totally different attitude. And that's the thing when you work in medical or in science and stuff, that they try and make like but that's where they start doing this, crazy stuff. You don't just take parts from poor people to keep the rich people alive. It was sad. It was really disgusting. Because that was and I know that they do that. That's what they do. That's how this world runs. And I'm so glad that so much stuff is being exposed. Like, even Podesta seems to be a big one that's going around right now. The people are finding out about him and his, he's such a sicko. But they haven't even gotten to, you know, the, the drip. They haven't even gotten to that thing yet. Man, when they start, there's so many things. There's so much stuff that they were in denial about that they thought was crazy. And it's just going to keep pounding them and pounding them and pounding them. So, man, I really wish things would just start going faster or flipping or turning it into something better. Oh my God. I swear to God, this is, and it seems weird because it doesn't, how could it be like, oh, the 17th, everything's going to change? It's like, well, I don't know. I hope stuff starts changing. Then which thing is insane? The nobody believes anything. Yeah, nobody does. And they do that. That has been in so many movies. So many movies. Even that other one that I just watched with Pete Daniel, whatever his name is, Pete Davidson. It's the same thing. All these movies, they keep showing about the rich being old as hell and then them taking parts from the poor or the young in order to sustain their life. Worry about going to the hospital and getting a doc that wants their body. Yeah, yeah. Like that guy, that construction guy. Yeah, I try not, well, yeah. I mean, sometimes I'll think, well, would I go for this? Would I go for that? I think if I, like when I split my head open, you have to get stitches. When I cut my leg open, though, I just did that one myself with like made my own steri strips. So I try and think like, what things would I go? I mean, you don't really have much choice. Like if you were in a wreck and you're unconscious or something, and then people are driving so crazy, it's best to just kind of stay home. I swear. That's what the lady too who was talking about right now, what it's like to be shedding. That's Ruthie tearing something up. To be shedding. She said you probably want to stay at home. You probably just want to be at home and be letting go of those old part of yourself. There's probably your judging parts of yourself that you want. It's all about this letting go of it, purging out, like your attitude towards yourself and letting go of the parts of yourself that you don't like. Which I guess that, does seem kind of like that. Like, having to, it's always seemed like, we're having to face ourselves to me. It seems like we're always having to look at these parts of ourselves and decide if this is who we really are. You know what I mean? Tina was going to try and make it today, but I don't know what she's got going on. Sometimes when people will be like, oh, darn, I missed the live. But I don't know. Nurses on TikTok are saying, if you're MAGA, then they will try to hurt you. See? Yeah, you gotta, like, man. The one thing is about me is, would you stop? Ruthie, stop doing that. Chew on your bone. Um, well, I was progressive for a long time, but I have tons of tattoos. So when I go someplace, they generally don't look at me as, they look at me as liberal. So normally, but I mean, if they try to start a conversation, how do you just pretend to be something you're not so that they don't do that? Yeah, I just don't want to go around them. Like there's so many people who are just psychopaths, like completely insane. There was a guy in Texas, apparently, who just, his daughter just SHO'd her. And because something about, they got in an argument about Donald. And so he didn't like what she said. And so he just blasted her and killed his own kid over freaking politics. It's like, how in the world are they getting people to be this crazy? And, like, Sherry, you're older. Like, you got to remember, like, it was something that people never talked about. Like, people didn't sit and argue about politics like now. It's like, it's insane. Like, how do you get so freaking serious about politics, man? Hi, fishing bro. Um, I wasn't sure if it had showed up, but it said like zero waiting, and then it turned over, then it said two. So it was Crystal and Sherry. Um, but yeah, I did give a week or whatever. Yeah, because if we start doing it, we just do it every Wednesday. But if it gets to be like too lame, we don't have to keep doing it. Um, yeah, it is. Something is making people so crazy. Like, how do you get so upset about politics and people having alternative beliefs than you and thinking different than you that you would get that irate about it, especially your own kid? like, like you're not even road raging a stranger with a MAGA sticker on or something. Now you're just taking out weapons on your own kids. I'm like, Jesus. Oh, hi, Alfie. Oh, let's all go fishing, Alfie. Oh, so there's Alfie too. So hey, Alfie. Um, but yeah, it's weird. It's weird that why people are so like it's so important to them for to control other people, and it's got to be because the world feels so scary and everything feels so intense. But also, there's something that is very building on people's ego to think that people have to be the same as you, have to agree with you, that you can't like them if they aren't. They all have to comply to what you believe and stuff. It's like that doesn't make a well-rounded person. You're way better off being with the diversity of thought and the different perspectives. That's going to help you to become wiser yourself. I can't believe how it is either. People have gone so crazy. The world has gone insane. And tell my son was a boy hammered his mom. I wonder if there's like a shadow there. Was in the high school. He was taking his bed away. He was taking his bed away. Made him wear an orange jumpsuit the week before. Why was she? She was trying to humiliate him, so he got a hammer and just beat her to death. God, I have seen some of these people have uh, some of these kids, if their parents, because I just saw a couple of these cases too, where the kid gets their remote taken from them so they can't play video games, and then they lose their minds. There was a big case about that a while ago, big enough that they made a Lifetime movie about it. But now it's just like keeps happening. It's not like a one-off. Who takes her kids? Yeah, who takes your bed away? I guess I've definitely with teenagers, I've definitely, where they think that you do nothing. And it's like, you would have no bed, you would have no clothes, you would have nothing if it weren't for me going to work. And so it must have been one of those kind of arguments, well, it's everything in your room is mine. I bought it all. I'll take it away. He got in trouble in school. So, oh, so sleep on the floor. Oh my God. Yeah, that's intense. But that's the thing too, is some of these parents are just really horrific parents. Like, I don't know this woman's deal. I don't know what her parenting skills or her theory behind parenting is. Geez, Stella. Oh my gosh, Stella. She just crushes my thing. He was adopted. Oh, man, I swear to God. I feel like so many adopted kids and foster kids do get treated poorly. Yeah. Yeah, I think sometimes that those people think like, I'm doing you a favor, kid. I don't have to put up with your crap. You're not my kid. It's like, well, I think you're missing the point of adopting. Oh my gosh, Stella. She crashed my thing over. I gotta try and get it to stand back up. I was thinking today, I wonder if I had a laptop, if that would work for doing this. But then, hi Jeffrey. But then I was thinking, well, then it probably needs a microphone because you probably can't hear me. But there's something weird with this one, and it's weird because it's only on YouTube, and there's always this sound, and it sounds like an old movie camera. So I don't know. Yeah, I miss the 70s. God, so weird. I mean, when you're back then in the 70s, then it seemed like, I don't know, it seemed kind of lame because I was always comparing it to like, oh God, the 20s, the 40s, that was the time to be alive. And, but now it's like, God, the 70s were great. It was such a good time. Yeah, I want it to go back to more like the 70s. Yeah, I was just thinking about some music and how it affects you. And I was thinking when my mom left my dad and she was with her new guy, and they were always listening to Steely Dan. And nowadays, if I even hear Steely Dan, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. I just can't even stand it. And it's weird because it's like it implants a memory into like whatever was going on in your life at that time and how the music I don't know, because it wasn't the music making me feel that way. I mean, I felt like that way, and then the music like was the tone. So now when I hear it, it's like, oh God, turn that off. Yeah, yeah, it's weird because it's not on my TikToks. It's just on my YouTube. And especially on my shorts, it's really loud. And if I go on my camera and then I make the video and then download it, you can still hear it a little bit. But yeah, I keep thinking, man, what is it? Like, and I would think it was just my phone was kind of had something wrong from dropping it or something, but it doesn't do it on all of the things. So I don't know. And right now I hear, like, I keep hearing such high pitched sounds, which the high pitched sounds even make you feel anxious, which then is it the frequency they're cranking up. And then also the sun. When the sun comes out, it is so intense. And we keep having so much overcast. And then the sun will just like come out at different times behind the clouds or something. Right now it's trying to come out and it just is like so intense. And I think that that's got to be creating some kind of energy. So it is weird. But yeah, I don't know what to do about that sound. You know, I was thinking, well, maybe I should get a laptop and start trying to do it on the laptop. But then I like don't even have a desk to set it. I'm not set up at all. You know, I've just got this little stupid ring camera that's wobbly as hell. I have my phone stuck on it, and that's the only microphone. And remember when I got that microphone and tried using that, and then I know Crystal said she couldn't hear me at all, that it sounded really weird. So I still have that microphone, but I don't ever use it. But I've seen other microphones now where they say, oh, these are so good. But there are so many people marketing things and saying they're good, and they have never even used them or tried them. They just are so desperate to be out there selling things to make money because TikTok has created this like these imposters or something, and so they just want to sell stuff because they get a kickback, and then they don't care what the product is or if it's good or anything. They'll just tell you it's great. So it's irritating. Yeah, the sun is so bright and so white, and Stella is just determined to knock this thing over. Now it's all wonked over. Oh man, I swear to God. Um, there's a song called The Year 2025 by Zagreb and Evans from 1969. It's like they knew. Yeah, I've heard some song. There's even one I think Sammy Hagar did um, about, I think, I don't know if he specifically says this year, but he definitely is talking about what's going on. And he said that he was talked to by aliens. I don't remember if he was in his car and something happened or whatever it was. But he said he was talking to the aliens and they told him. And so then he went and did a song about it. Yeah, I've seen people playing that song lately and it is weird. It's like, what? There was another song somebody else played the other day. And maybe it was a Chris Cornell song, but another song talking about like the people eating babies and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll have to look up that song. The Zagreb and Evans, 2525. I feel like I've heard that song, but yeah, it's different when you go and listen to it. 2525, because that would still be like 400 years away from now. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. I think it's kind of trippy, just the whole thing about the age of Aquarius, because that That song was from like the 60s. And now here we are in the age of Aquarius. Definitely truth in music and movies. Yeah. That's the weird thing is like the truth is around us, but you have to open your mind and not just look at it as an entertainment. It's more like they hide information inside the entertainment. So you have to have your mind open to the entertainment. Because I can't believe how many movies. The one I watched, because I talked about the True Detective today, and it had so much stuff in it. And this one this morning, that one had so much stuff in it. I have movies that pop up for me to watch all the time, have so much disclosure all the time. But I don't know, maybe some people they watch the movies and they just don't pick up on it. They just don't think it's anything. But I'm always listening to them, and I don't know because some of the stuff I already know. Like I know that they're doing that, like they're taking parts from poor people and young people to keep other people alive. And so, yeah, if I see it in a movie, I don't sit there and think, oh, it's just a movie. I think, oh, look, they're putting it right in our face. Like, what the hell? I don't know. I know that the age, so we're in different, there's different ages. It's the cosmic cycles, like, and so we're in the age of Pisces, I think, is the one we're in right now, which is kind of weird. Because you'd think it would go like in order, but everything about astrology and stuff, like there's a lot of stuff that is just, but anyways, it supposedly is the Piscean age, I think. And it has to do with Jesus fish, and it has to do with having a savior in Jesus, and learning as beings, those of us who are here to learn, is from learning the two sides, the light and the dark, and to find the balance. And it's really kind of like making your choices, because you can choose to align with the dark or you can choose to align with the light. And it's like something that it's like you got to do it every day. It's not like you just do it, when you're a kid and you stay that way. And it's like you're constantly having things happen where you have to decide which direction you're going to go. So that age is ending. Like we learned what we came to learn from it. And so that cycle's ending. So then the new cycle in the age of Aquarius is all about love and peace and harmony. And so then when we start the age of Aquarius, that's what we're going to be starting. But you have to align yourself with the age of Aquarius. You can't just go just because it's the age of Aquarius. You have to align yourself with that energy in order to go to that age. And so it's not just like, whoa, it's not just like a new age starts and you start you just go to the next one automatically. It is, and it could be, maybe people will kind of go automatically at first, but they won't align with it. You have to match the vibration. If you can't, Charlie Kirk, we carry the flame. Um, I don't know about. I look like Charlie Kirk? Really? I've not heard that before. But yeah, I'm not Charlie Kirk. um, so yeah, that's weird. Um, but anyways, so yeah, not Charlie Kirk. Um, that's weird. I would not have thought I look like him at all. Like, yeah. Do I hear voices? Are you asking me this virus? Hi, virus? Hi, hi, virus. Asking me if I hear voices. No. Oh, no, I do hear voices. Um, but they're not just voices, they're real beings. Um, okay. Okay. Yeah, because I'm like, I look like Charlie Kirk. It's like, I wouldn't think that at all. So, Yeah. Yeah, it's weird how there's people who just go around just to try and like what would you even go and it's weird. So whatever. Everybody can see or think whatever they want. If they see Charlie Kirk, then whatever. But yeah, it's weird. Um, but anyways, on the okay, thank you. Thanks, guys. Well, I mean, it's not like I think like Charlie Kirk is ugly or something. Yeah, I think Erica Kirk is a grifter though. But um, but yeah, I mean, it just seems weird because I don't feel like I look like Charlie Kirk at all. But anyways, yeah, the but if the age of Aquarius begins in and say like the rapture, whatever, like the separation doesn't occur until it starts, then like everybody gets a chance to go. But if they can't align themselves, they won't be able to stay. You have to be aligned with harmony. You have to be aligned with forgiveness. You have to be aligned with love and unity, all of those things in order to exist in that age, that era. So, and then if they can't, it's not like it's going to be over with, in a couple weeks or something. It's going to last for a long, long time. And so people will be able to go and go and continue their journey to find their balance and so that they can let go of all of their pain and suffering so that they can move into a higher vibration reality. But yeah, the reality is just going to be a high vibration reality, and it's going to last for a long, long time. Like, we're not going to be dying. The technology is going to keep us alive. We're going to be young again. We're going to be healthy again, and we're going to live as long as we want to live. We're not going to have this death toll hanging over our head like you could die, because really what they're doing is making us sick, and then they're setting a tone to the sickness like this will kill you, these things will happen, they program us, and so we're really dying ourselves off. And then we think that it's real, but we think everything in this reality is real, but it's not real. And so it's all just set on programming and indoctrination. So that's why you have to break all this programming and indoctrination. Once we break it, then we realize, oh, it can't hurt us. We can't die. We just, it's like a submission. It's like we submit to what they tell us. And so then we kill ourselves off. But it worked before because the lives were quicker. So it worked before because, I mean, who would want to stay alive forever in this friggin' nonsense? It's like, it's hellacious. So, yeah, but once we break free from it and we get to a good place, then it's like, okay, now we can enjoy being alive. Now we can have some fun. But yeah, this place is hell. I believe this place is, well, I mean, I don't think hell really exists, but in the sense of low vibrational places, and this place being um, what we have been told that hell is, I think this is, it's that. It's like this repeating. It's like you can't get it, like all the things. It's just really sucky. Apparently next week, the big week that everyone, yeah, it's when the fire horse starts. Yeah, it's very curious. Um, I was born in 61. Um, we said at the same time. Oh, hi, Roger. Yeah, that's not old. And plus, yeah, I mean, age. The thing is about age too is it's going to become more regarded as wise. Like, you've gone through years, you've gone through different situations and stuff. So what it creates is wisdom, and that's especially why they want to kill us off as we become wise, because they don't. I mean, they just want a bunch of dummies here. Like, they just want a bunch of stupid people who are just in a mess all the time. They don't want, and then what happens when people start retiring and stuff and they have more time, and then they become more connected and they become wiser, they learn from their mistakes, and so yeah, they don't want that here. But yeah, when it switches over, yeah, we're going to be living into that. If you were going to count your time, which it makes no sense really to count your time in the cycle of the earth, like, because that's not our cycle. And so I don't think that we'll continue counting it like in that kind of sense. But we're going to definitely live, if you were to say like hundreds of years of earth cycles, we're going to definitely live hundreds of earth cycles of years. But our cycle would be much longer because, yeah, they're the earth cycles or the seasonal cycles don't really have anything to do with our age. That's just something that they've tried to associate us with because of through the control of the time reference, or however they try and get us to be committed to time being a reality. But yeah, really, it has no significance, you know? So, what if another season passed? What does that have to do with my age? You know what I'm saying? It's weird. That's why I've gotten out of even saying what my age is. I just say when I was born. No, 85 years. No, you're just kind of becoming a grown up at that point. You've gone through stuff and you've become like a grown up. So it's really not old at all. But they've poisoned us for so long that a lot of people they feel old because their bodies are worn down. They're no minerals. They've depleted them of all their minerals. They're sick. They've made them sick year after year. So, yeah, people feel like, oh God, I'm so old. But really, no, you're just full of a bunch of toxins. But you're just coming into your own. Like, they try and make like that happens when the people are like 20. Oh God. Like, yeah. When you look back at your life and you see like yourself in your 20s and 30s and 40s, it's like, oh my gosh, you just get wiser and smarter throughout all of the time that goes on. It isn't like you get worse. Well, they do have a whole thing where, they've got so many people with the brain fog and so many people when they start saying they've got dementia and stuff, but really it's toxins and parasites eating up their brains. So it's not really an aging thing, but yeah, it is. It's just a manipulation to make us think like we're getting worse when we get older, but no, we're getting better. It's like fine wine. You get better as you age because you become smarter and you become less. For the most part, most people become uh, less toxic. More mindful. Um, Hello, Shelton. Oh, from India. Hey, Shelton. How's it in India? I really want to go to India. I really want to travel around and go all over the place. There's so many places I want to go. There's so many places to see. And that's the thing is like, that kind of, it makes me feel sad. Like if the earth is really going to become, covered with water and so many places are going to go underwater because there's like, God, you didn't even get to see every place. There's so many places to see. These dogs are about to get rowdy. Oh, God. So intense. I swear to God, I just feel like, I don't even feel like it was them doing that. It feels like some kind of wave came in and it suddenly gave me a headache, and then all of a sudden they start acting up. So it's like they feel the wave of the intensity too, which I bet you I don't, because being way out here, I don't see towers all over the place, but I definitely see stuff up in the sky all the time. Summer is no. To knock over that mirror. Summer is pretty good. I totally agree. Yeah, so many places. India is such an interesting place to get to see. Like, especially when you get like these places and there's so many different cultures and so many different styles of like houses and how the people live and stuff. It's like, I want to go and experience it all. I want to go experience everything, like there's not enough time, and then they keep us trapped in this okay, I'm gonna try the water and see if that does anything. Keep us trapped so that we don't get to go and experience the world. They want to just keep us enslaved on the system, going to work and paying our bills. And that's the big thing where I think everybody's got to stop worrying about paying their bills. That's when I think things are going to change, is when we all start saying, I'm not paying bills to these people. So I don't know. Who knows what it's going to be that's going to change everything. But yeah, I hope it would be great if some of these places are going to be around and that we'd be able to have faster travel and not so much control over it, because they how much they charge us too, like to go to India. And then plus the whole thing about when you travel, how they make it where it's dangerous. Like those are the people who were traveling around that they see as easy targets to take their parts and stuff. Yeah, that's the thing, is when we get flying cars, that is when it's like, man. And I think to have the flying cars, then they'd have to give us some kind of map, some kind of portal map, some kind of way so we knew go this way. And then, because this Shelton, like, do you know of a place that you can go walk through the mountains and walk and get all the way to America by walking? Because there were some guys who had crossed the border in Mexico, and they had come from India and Pakistan and another place, I think. And the lady was asking them where they had flown into, and they kept saying they walked, and they were so confused over what she was like, because they kept saying, we didn't fly, we walked. And I have been saying for a long time that there is places through the mountains that you can go, but I don't know if everybody knows of them. Sharing older women. Sharing. It's connected from the hills, connected to Pakistan and China and Russia. So do you guys, are you familiar with like pathways and what directions to go to get to different places? Like, is it like, do people just take off walking and like, oh, I'm just going to walk over to China. I'm just going to walk wherever. Like, is that kind of a thing there? Here, people like, people barely walk down the street in America. Everybody takes their car. People take their car in a parking lot. They want to go to Ross, and then they want to go to Safeway. They'll drive. Like, you'll get a lot of people walking around all over the place in America, except for in New York. A lot of people walk in New York, but everywhere else, the British era, there was busy, connected from Calcutta City to England. Oh, a bus. Oh, interesting. Wonder how long the bus ride was. See, there's ways that we can get around to places, and they don't want us to know. They think that we need to do all these big, long flights and stuff. That's the kind of disclosure I want opened up. I want to find out how we can get around easier. Because over here, we don't know the ways to walk. Like, the lady couldn't even wrap her head around it when they were saying they walked. Yeah, a bus ride, but still, there has to be a road. It's not like you're having to go in the water. They want us to be flying. They want us to fly over the water for 8 hours to get there or something. Even to go to England, you're flying over the water for a long time. And I think that there's ways that we can get around. Like, I think in the mountains and stuff, there's portals. I think that there's ways to, shortcuts. Yeah, see, they want to hide them. Around 90 to 100 days. Oh, on the bus, 90 to 100 days. But still, wouldn't that be cool? Oh my God, go outside. Honey. Go. Go, go, go. I'll cut it down a tiny bit for a minute. She'll come busting back through that door in 1 second. Yeah, I would love to travel. Like, I would love to be, like, it would be, well, I couldn't take my dogs on the bus, but I could, Even if I had a camper or something, going on those roads, there would be, like, if it took 90 to 100 days, then, but those guys who walked from India and were in Mexico, they were making like it took them a week. So, and I think there's something about the Grand Canyon. I think there's something about like you go into some mountains like in Afghanistan or something or Pakistan or whatever, and you go through some mountain ranges, and then all of a sudden you go through some like caves or something, then all of a sudden you're in the Grand Canyon. And then from the Grand Canyon, then I think there's some shortcuts in there because they don't even want us in the Grand Canyon. They want to keep all this stuff hidden from us. They don't want us to know. They don't want us to know anything. They want us to just think everything is far away. We have to pay them a lot of money to get anywhere. It's like a bunch of nonsense. Yeah, it takes to go and travel. And then plus here, because now, you got to go through TSA, then you got to go take, so you got to get to the airport early, then you got to take multiple flights. And like when my daughter just went to Thailand, their travel day was like 28 hours. It was like so long because you take a plane over here, then you have to sit and wait for your next plane. Then you have to take a plane over to the next place, and you have to sit and wait for that one. Then you have to take a plane to the next place. It's like it's so long. Yeah, it's a giant hassle. It's like what puts you off, like from, I think it puts a lot of people off from traveling, the cost and the time. Yeah, it was so long. I couldn't believe it. It's like a whole full day was spent just traveling, and then you have to do it coming back. You have to do the same thing coming back. So that's like 2 whole days. And the jet lag too that you get from that. Yeah. When we traveled, we went to Spain, and then from Spain we went to Portugal. So we didn't stay in Spain at first. We came back and then we stayed in Spain, but we decided to go to Portugal as soon as we got there. And that day of travel, because we had to fly somewhere, I don't remember where here, and then get our flight to Spain, and then go the flight from Spain to Portugal, and it was like 20 something hours. It was so freaking long. Gonna go drive to Georgia, 24 hours. Oh, I know. I sit there and look at like if I drove to Dallas, and it's one whole day, so 24 hours, and then another like 6 hours or something, which I wouldn't mind doing. Like I wouldn't mind doing it, but I need a camper. I need something that I can take the dogs, and then yeah, so that we could pull over and sleep in it, so that the dogs could be in the camper, because driving in the car for that long and then having to stop and find places, get them all out of the car, to walk them all, get them all back in the car, it'd be so much easier to have a camper. So, but I wouldn't mind doing the long drive. I would like to go and drive down. I'd like to go drive down and see my brother and then go to my dad's property. I do remember, like, I went through some news, a lot of Indians with any regards when they reach there. Not only USA, Canada, UK, other countries. They just walk crossing countries illegal. Yeah, yeah, it was happening. There was some that were coming and crossing through Mexico when Joe opened up the border, and there was people down there like inspecting, like, oh, where are you from? Where are you from? Because they were all getting so paranoid. Hello, Connie. We're doing good. Just chatting away about nonsense, about a bunch of stuff. But yeah, there was a bunch of people who were going down to the border at the time, and asking people like where they were coming from. And so this video was going around a lot because those guys kept saying that they had walked from India and Pakistan. And people were like, well, like the lady who was asking them, she thought that they didn't understand. Like she thought there was a language barrier, and thought that she was like strange, like, lady, we walked. And then they looked like they had been walking. They looked like they had been out hiking for, a week or something. They definitely didn't look like, hey, we just flew in. And so, but I mean, How are all those people, like, they're sitting there saying all these people are walking from South America, like walking from Venezuela and stuff. Like, there's got to be some ways, like, they're going under, like, the ocean or something, because they're not walking across the ocean. And isn't there parts, like, how do you get there if you don't have, like, it seems like you would need a boat or something. So yeah, there's so much stuff about the travel that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's quite obvious that there's lies in regards to it. But when I heard those guys say that they walked, that's the first thing I thought of, is like, oh man, there's ways that, and these guys knew the way. Like, I'd like to go down there and meet up with them and say, hey, show me the path. Let's walk back. Let's walk back to India. You show me how to get there. But, who are they going to do that? They were trying to get over here. But how do we learn the way if somebody doesn't, who already knows the way, doesn't go and show us the way? Because the government's sure not going to. They're trying to lock us down and block it out. So we don't know the way. So the, but yeah, if I knew the way to get around to some of these places, because once you got over, God, if you could get to if you could go by road, by ground, to China, to Russia, to India, which I didn't even know how close Russia is, to Alaska. Like, it's super close. Like, they do everything they tell us about the map and stuff is just lies. Things are not the where they say they are. They're not the size they say they are. So, God, these dogs. They were driving me so crazy. And I was getting, like, Max destroys the water. He makes the biggest mess to eat. And then, so it's like, I feel like my whole day just goes in circles around feeding them and watering them all day long. Just going around like freaking the maid of the dogs. And and every time I put down fresh water for the dog, Max beelines it over there. And now he finished his antibiotics. He had his last one this morning. And his throat is still, his tonsils are still all swollen because he can't swallow. And so everything just, it's so gross. And he just chews and chews and chews and tries to swallow. And he throws his head around and spits it all over the place. And then the water turns into just slime. It's so slimy and so foamy, which I was like, man, I don't even know, is it pus? Like, has he got pus in his throat too? And so I was looking it up because it was like, well, he finished all the medicine and now he still has the tonsillitis. And so I was looking up to see, like, well, how serious is this tonsillitis thing? And they said it's common in small dogs, which I didn't even know it was common. And because everybody at the vet, they acted like they'd never even heard of it before. But they said, but it is a secondary thing, so that there's something else going on. But I'd already done all these labs right before he got the diagnosis with the tonsillitis, and all those labs were good. But it said in the thing, so if the dog has issues with the dental problems or problems with vomiting, well, we know he had problems with vomiting. And so I don't know if that is the cause, but what is causing the vomiting? Because then his labs were good. So I don't know. I feel like I just got one of these dogs that I think probably a lot of them in the shelters have got lots of issues. Like, people didn't take care of him, threw him out in the road. Yeah. And he's a mess, man. And now Archie, he's decided he'll just, it just drives me crazy. Because I got to put out a big old thing on the ground for Max to eat on because it makes such a mess. And then trying to clean it up off the floor is hellacious. So I had to put a big mat down. And so then Archie doesn't have a mat. I go put Archie's food. Well, Archie decides that because I have to keep feeding them in a separate room. So Archie just decides he's just going to go hang out. He's going to wait for Max to finish because he would rather eat Max's slime than eat his own food. So then Max runs over and starts eating Archie's food and sliming up the whole room. So I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to start feeding Archie in the other room with the other dogs and feed Max separate. If he's still doing this when it gets warmer out, I'm gonna start feeding him outside. And now, because they ran off for so long today, I was like, I don't even know that I can just let them just be out and go. Because then, yeah, I was all like irritated this morning. I was like, oh my God, this is driving me crazy, you know. And then they go out and then they are gone. I thought they were missing. I was like looking on Facebook even, and you know, if anybody had reported them yet. And then and then I was feeling bad, like, oh gosh, now if I just have two dogs, I feel kind of bad. I'll miss them. But yeah, when they're here, they drive me crazy. But then if they're not here, then I feel bad and I miss them. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to put him outside to eat things, um, because it is so messy, and it's like, how long is this gonna go, man? How long is he gonna be? Is his tonsils gonna stay swollen for the rest of his life now? Is he always gonna be having problems eating? Because it said that the treatment was the antibiotics and the anti-inflammatories, which is that what he did, and he finished it, and then didn't do anything. You know, he's still, his throat is still a mess because he can't swallow. So no, it's like, man, is this just my new normal now? Got this elderly dog. I got this sickly dog. I got this crazy dog. It's like I got two crazy ones, an elderly one, and now a sickly one. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, I do. I have a bunch of seeds I've been saving from squash. But yeah, I do want to put a garden out here. But I do have some obstacles. There's just tons of gophers. We put up an owl house, and no owl has moved in to kill off the gophers. And so the gophers are now digging up. So you have to put raised gardens, but they'd have to be up off the ground because the gophers will just burrow right through and eat everything. And then I also have the deers, which they'll eat everything, which even when my mom's, because we did a big garden at my mom's, and I put a bunch of money into that. And she was like, well, hopefully the deers don't get everything. Oh, they got everything. They ate all our food. Um, Over here, apparently you don't even need a green thumb. Because I'm in the farmland, and so it's just like the perfect thing for growing. So, because my sister-in-law, one of her friends moved here from California, and she just put out a garden and just went crazy. My brother was asking her like what she was doing, and she said, nothing. I just put it in the ground and it's just going crazy. She's like, I'm not a gardener. She's just putting stuff in the ground and it's just growing like crazy. So I think it's just the soil, the sun, however it is here. It's just like the perfect storm for growing a lot. So I don't have to do much, but I do have to get some kind of raised gardens and then the dirt thing. Like, but if I buy dirt, then it would be different dirt because mom and I bought a whole bunch of dirt for the garden we did there because I was doing her raised gardens, and we bought all this dirt, and we tried to put fencing around, but the deers just came in there. The fox came in there. Everything just came in there and then just ate all the food. So I think out of all that whole garden, we got like less than 5 tomatoes that we got. And we got a couple of squashes. And that was about it. There was like, I think we got a little bit of spinach, just barely anything, all the stuff that we had planted. So, but I do want to do one here. I also want to get animals here. But then it's kind of like, well, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of just waiting to see what's next, what's going to happen. Like, is something going to happen? Am I going to be moving from here? Am I going to be staying here for a long time? And I still, because I kind of need to have people I know. Because if I have animals, then who's going to take care of the animals while I'm gone? Like if I go, because then you're kind of trapped. You can't go anywhere. So, because who's going to feed your horses and your goats and your chickens and all that stuff? Who's going to come and let the chickens out in the day and then put them back up at night? Which I kind of feel like the coyotes ran off the fox, so the fox left. So I think the coyotes ran the fox off, but I think the mountain lion ran the coyotes off because I haven't seen the coyotes around or heard them. And so, but I haven't heard the mountain lion since it had its big roar while my brother was here. So I think maybe the mountain lion may have left. So then something else will come back in, I guess. Maybe the fox will come back. Maybe they just all rotate around and around. But, anyways, but if you get livestock or any kind of pets or any kind of animals or something, you got to still protect them from the wildlife because the wild animals will come and eat them. That one lady that lived by my mom, and they had a whole bunch of chickens. And one by one, the fox just went in and ate those chickens. It's like, well, after the first one gets at, why didn't y'all put better thing? Like, after the first one gets eaten up, why in the world aren't you making sure that they're protected? It's like, but nope, got to every single one of their chickens every night. It would go out and get another chicken. It's like until they were gone, and then the people just went and started rolling up all of their chicken fencing and all their stuff that they had set up for their. Oh, I thought that was that's not my hair. um, I don't have a green thumb though. Like even my plant, like I do not have a green thumb at all. Um, but I do. Well, I would like to grow my food. I would like to grow it because it's like the investment to start growing it is a lot, but then going to the grocery store all the time is a lot. What is it, Stell? What? What is the drama you got going on? She keeps getting really rowdy with Ruthie and playing with Ruthie. And then I think after she plays with her, she's just like, oh man, that was rough. So I think she gets really sore because they get like, I don't know. Um, it doesn't ever seem serious though. Doesn't seem like because their tails are always wagging. So, but it doesn't seem like Stella's had anybody to actually play with in a long time that will play with her because all the other dogs are always like scared of her because she's so big. Um, Time's up. What's the time? Is time up? Oh, is it time up? Because you got to get going. Has Crystal got to go? I know Crystal's got yoga class to get to. That big giant thing on Stella's neck opened up. Um, oh, yeah. Yeah. Stella's always telling me when time's up. Yeah. Yeah. Stella does. She's like, time is up. That's why I was like, because I thought, oh, she probably wants to eat again. And I swear to God, my whole day just revolves around cooking for them and cleaning up after them, feeding them, and then going out and chasing them around, which I really wanted more fencing too. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the big thing to me is going to be like when the economy crashes. And then I said this morning, but I saw another guy, and it was a face I recognized, but I don't know who he is. I don't think it was the Australian guy, but he was talking about Nasara, and he said that that right now the there is starting, and so that's the global. And then the Nasar is going to kick in here, but they said it's going to really be going in April, which is also when the lady said that the med beds were going to be starting was in April. So I would say, well, we got a lot of stuff to go through the rest of February and March then. But once that that whole new system begins like that, see, that's going to change, change all of our lives. And so, yeah, I don't know. Am I going to still be here? Is my brother, maybe I'll buy this property from him. The only thing I don't like about it is all of the hunters around. But otherwise, I like it. I like it. It's peaceful. I would want more trees. And then I'd want to, of course, put a house on. It's so, um, But, he may not want to sell. I mean, because it's going to be a huge crash. That's the thing, is that people don't realize, like, because they think like a place like this place that he has is a high value, but when it crashes, it's not going to be. Nothing's going to be. So things that, are worth $1 million are not going to be worth $1 million. That was all just paper. That was all just a way to create inflation and stuff. So things are going to drop in such a huge amount of value. And then it's kind of like, well, what are the people going to do? Because it makes more sense to just hold on to it, because the land has value, which I saw another person talking about this. I talked about this years ago, but now I've seen more people talking about it, is if you bury somebody on your property, they cannot take your property away. Then it's a different classification and you don't have to pay taxes on it. And so it was saying, and it's totally legal to bury your family members on your land. And they were even saying that even if it's their ashes on your land, that you can claim it, is that now it changes the status of your property. And but if you want to bury, like, you want to make a little cemetery in your own yard of your own family plot or whatever of your family members, then you go, once they take their body to the funeral home or whatever, you just have to go up and pick it up. And then you can go take them and bury them where you want. They can't. It's totally legal. And I don't know if it would be in every state, but the person who I saw talking about, they said it's totally legal. You just go down there, you just say you're picking up the body and you're taking it. And then you can bring it and dig a hole in your yard, put the body out there, put a headstone on it, and then you just change the status of your thing, and they can't take it. You don't have to pay taxes. It's the whole thing. And that's why they stopped, because that's what people used to do. There weren't cemeteries. People just went, and if your family died, you just went out and buried it in your yard. But yards were not like, your backyard. They've shrunk our yards by a huge amount. We used to have property, but you would just go out and you'd find a place on your property where it'd be your burial spot. And then, but they didn't want to be able to do that. They didn't want us to be able to do that. So then they changed the rules, because yeah, it's your own family, it's your own world at that point. I told my kids, or told somebody, I don't remember who, but I said, if I die, just take my body and bury it at dad's property, because then they can't do anything. They can't charge you taxes, nothing. Um, yeah, I know. But I was thinking, because I was thinking, well, I already told my brother, like, if Stella dies, I want to bury her here. And so I wonder, because now they're making, there's some of the states, because Donald, that was one thing too, or Donald, supposedly I heard that they were going to count pets as family members. Dogs were going to be family members. So, yeah, if you bury your I mean, your pets out there. But yeah, I think if you just go out, you put a headset, but you got to have some kind of proof, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what all they ask you for when you want to change the whatever it is, to change your property. It's something. It's not changing it into a cemetery, but it's changing it into something. So it's not just like your yard. It's um, some other classification. I'm not really sure. I'd have to look for the thing explaining it, but I'm sure you can find that information. But most people are really weirded out and creeped out about that stuff. Which my house that I lived in with number two, like, the house that we split up in, then but the people we had bought her from, she told us, she told my husband that she had had several miscarriages, and she had buried them in the out in the flower bed. And at the time, it just seemed kind of creepy and scary, because my kids were sure that they could hear babies crying all the time. They were totally freaked out about it. And but now that I look at it, it's like, man, they could have done that same thing. Like, she went and buried her babies out there. it was like their family plot at that point. So yeah, it seemed really weird. And in her little garden area, because they it was 5 acres, but she chose right next to the windows of the house. So it was right to the kids that had their bedrooms down in the basement. So it was like the burial was right by their windows, and they would say that they could hear the babies crying. They were totally freaked out. And so I think it seems like, I don't even know, like I could be just making this up in my mind. I swear to God, it seems like my husband told her she needed to come and dig up her babies and take them. But surely we didn't go through with something like that. That's even more macabre. Like, I don't think that we would do that. But it seems like that he got in an argument with her. He was like, "Lady, you should have just not even told us. We would have been better off not knowing." And also, like when you go out and you start doing, like, people will go out and start digging up their garden or something, and people do find people's pets and stuff buried. So you'd be thinking, yeah, like we go start digging around in there and do anything, then we're gonna run across your deceased baby. It's like, I think it's better to make like a family plot and go out. Like, this is our designated death of burial ground for our family members. Not just like, we're just gonna put him in any old place, just bury him by the window. It's like, I don't know. But I could see, like, if you were the mom, and you lost the baby, but I don't even know, like, if her baby was like really, really tiny, if it was just like, a blood clot, or if it was actual baby size. Yeah, I think a family plot would be the way to go. So that, and you know what, like over at that house too, I've talked about this house before. It was the one that was up next to the church, that big Catholic church that was so creepy, that had a big cemetery. But around that whole area, there was a whole bunch of cemeteries. And across the street from us, it was a cemetery, and the kids would go over there and walk around. They probably brought home ghosts from there. And then there was an Indian burial one that it was more hidden, and because I went with the kids' school to go back and take the kids to this one, and we had to walk through this little path, and it was a whole thing. But anyways, now I sit here and think, like, these little cemeteries are all over the place. I wonder if those were on somebody's property. Not big cemeteries, but little tiny ones where there's like, I don't know, at the one across from us, it seems like there was maybe 50 people or something. And I would think most the family ones would be, smaller than that. But still, I wonder if there was, like, where people were like, well, my family died. Could I bury him on your family plot or something? And it was actually somebody's yard before. And then they divide it up and say, oh no, it's a cemetery. They took the land from the people or something. I don't know. Everything just seems kind of strange, and you can't, like, they do shady stuff like that. Wondering why. Yeah, they were Catholic too, and so she had like, she had like 10 kids. She had a lot of kids. Everybody up there did, because they were all. It was like this whole. It was very cultish, because the whole area is like, so many people went to that church and then lived right by the church, and they were all Catholic, and they all had tons of kids. And it didn't matter how poor they were. Like, if they lived in a mobile home with 10 kids, and they all just, it was different. Um, if you're a sherry, a wrench. Oh, wait, I was gonna ask you if you'd sherry, a wrench. I'm blind. I thought there was a wrench by her. Oh, oh yeah, I did see something by her name. I don't know what that was though. It's yeah, I saw something, some little tool or something. I don't know. But but anyways, Yeah. It was so whatever. She had a whole bunch of living kids, and I don't know if it was as she got older that she started losing them or whatever. And so I don't know. She had like four or five miscarriages or something. Is that they just don't use any kind of. It's just like every time they get pregnant, they don't use any kind of birth control at all because it's against their religion. And that seems so strange to not even use condoms or something. That's against your religion. It's like I don't know. Catholic, the whole thing behind religion has got so much control over people, but just that whole concept there. Every time you get pregnant, you have to have it. It's like, well, I mean, what if you are poor? What if you can't afford it? Well, too bad. It's like, well, maybe just because they're not allowed to even take birth control. That's against their religion. So I don't know. I mean, you can't. You know, I don't. I wouldn't be like, go get pregnant and then just run down to the clinic every 5 minutes. But I think like using precautions was that would seem acceptable to be like, well, I'm gonna take birth control. Like, it seems weird. Like just seems weird. Like the church would be in control of like how many kids you can have and if you can afford them or whatever. Um, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Definitely, it's still it still feels super intense. It still feels super intense to me. Just talking it out doesn't seem to make it go away. It still feels like, um, I don't know. God, it seems like we gotta be getting close. Something's got to go. Something's got to break. God, it is such a waiting game. And I hope, man, every time though, there seems to be a date that comes along and it's like, God, hopefully this is it. Hopefully this is it. And then it just comes and goes and comes and goes. It's like, oh my God. So it's hard because you sit there and think, well, the 17th, it could be a really good one. But then it's like, man, I don't want to be disappointed because there is so much disappointment behind this. And then it starts seeming like, God, is anything going to happen? I'm just trapped in hell. I know, another month. And the next month, then right away, as soon as the 17th, if nothing happens, and it all just seems like nothing, like when there's all this big buildup over, it's gonna be so dramatic, then, and then nothing happens, and then right away there's another date. And I swear to God, I've already been hearing people say, February 26th. And I don't know if it's always the astrology people who start it. Oh, it's the transits, it's this, it's that, it's this planet, it's that planet. Um, which I don't even know that I believe in. I mean, I believe in some sense of astrology, but I don't think it is like what we think it is. Because I don't think there's planets all like, I don't think that I don't think there's anything like what we've been told. So, and then these people, they don't go out and actually look at the stars in the system. They just are basing it on calendars and what they're told. So, I don't even know. But yeah, so hopefully that there is. And you think if there's really going to be big significant changes that happen next week, that we will have things that'll keep happening until then. And maybe it is like such big things like Donald coming out and saying he's going to protect all women from men beaters or something, because that's a big wave in the blue community. They're all anti men right now because men are horrible monsters and all that stuff. And so maybe that would be a significant thing where they think like, well, why would he be protecting us? He's a monster himself. So I don't know. Maybe that's a part of the getting them to wake up or something, getting them to look at him different. Yeah, the calendars are wrong too. Yeah, it does seem like that there's always them talking about the astrology and what's going to happen and the transits and the planets and what's in alignment, what's never been in alignment before, and that's going to cause this and that. But then it's like, well, I don't know that I could tell any difference. I mean, it seems like every day is the same to me. It's like I've got to do all the same stuff, get up, do the same thing. My dogs are gonna sit here and whine at me. This thing on Stella, it does. I need to clean it. It's like a mess. Okay, it's been dripping out stuff. Uh, so, um, there's certain times that there's a yeah. Well, there was some weird thing on the Super Bowl. I don't know because you watched the Super Bowl, right? Did you see the commercial that made like I think it was a Tubi commercial or something, and it made like that somebody changed the channel in the house off of the game, and so people are saying that when that happened, that men didn't even ask, who changed the channel or anything. There was this huge assault that happened on all these women. Yeah, strap it. Yeah, get the dog drops, put in the calming drops in their stuff. Yeah, yeah. Supposedly that all these men got up and just hit their wives for changing channels. It's like what in the world? And they didn't even change channels. Which to me, there seems like there would have to be some kind of subliminal programming to get the men to all have the same reaction like that. That seems so weird. So yeah, yeah, and we're being a huge experiment. So, yeah, yeah, totally. Like to not even communicate, not even say who changed the channel, to just automatically hit your wife. So there was a huge breakout of domestic violence during the game, I guess, a big rise in it. So, yeah, it's really weird. There's so much stuff that's just so weird. Like, what? Uh, I don't even know. It just seems so odd. So just your reaction is just to hit somebody, not even communicate at all. Just something, especially over changing channels. And the whole thing, I think it's weird. The Turning Point did a whole um, their own show, their own halftime show. And that all these people turned off of the game and turned on to Turning Point halftime. Why is Turning Point even competing with the halftime show? Like, that is weird. That just seems like creative drama to me. And I don't know. I mean, so much stuff is just so absurd and so bizarre that it's just like it doesn't even make any sense. Yeah, no telling if all of the intensity, the commercials, and stuff builds up this tension in men or whatever. Because I don't know. I mean, maybe there was some women who punched the man too, but it seems that yeah, there was some kind of domestic assault that happened on this during this one little commercial, which is so strange. And I don't even know. Was there just like a huge rise in how many people called 911 at that moment? So my husband just hit me, and I imagine a lot of them were drunk, because most people, alcohol goes along with the game. So, God, drama. Yeah, so strange. Why would Turning Point? Why would they even put in somebody who, like, did you see the people? Well, if you were watching the game, then you saw the people in the stands. Like, everybody's just standing there. Nobody's singing along, but nobody knows the word. Nobody even knows what he's saying. It's like, what in the world? It's so strange, but I've always thought that it was strange that they put rappers in the halftime games. It just didn't seem like rap and football. It just doesn't seem to go to me. But that they would put in those kind of halftime shows, I thought that was strange. And oh, yeah, yes, spice strips high. Yeah, yeah, there was a whole weird thing about that. And so NFL was trying to push that, oh, it was the best game or best halftime show they've ever had, the most viewed and stuff. But then the SSC or whoever monitors all that stuff came out and said no. Everybody changed channels and turned on the Turning Point, and then even in the stands, nobody could even see the show, and then nobody was dancing or singing. It was when it shows the people in the stands, everybody's just standing there. Nobody's excited. Everybody's just standing there. It's like, God, it's so awkward. It's so uncomfortable. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And especially now, it's even come out that the whole song, he's just cussing. He's saying all sorts of words you're not allowed to say on TV at certain times. You know, you're not, certain words you're not allowed to say, but he's saying them in a different language and they didn't know. And so it was very inappropriate what he was saying and singing. And so now they're saying that they have to take it down, but I mean, is it up still? Like, can you go and rewatch it or something? But so now they're going to they have to take it down or something because the words he was saying, which is another weird thing. It's like the whole thing is so odd. It's just so weird. Why have somebody who is the people don't even speak the same language and he's singing in his language? They don't even know the songs. They don't even know his music, and the whole thing is weird. Like even like I think like Mark Anthony, doesn't he sing a lot in Spanish? Like, and he's well known and he's popular. Why wouldn't they do him on a halftime show? Why would they just pull this random guy out? And I think it's like, is he just like TikTok famous? Like, I don't even know how famous he is. People who I've seen it from Puerto Rico talk about like like he doesn't seem like he's that popular where, he's not like somebody that they all like. Some people don't like him at all. They say like he's like this gangster kind of guy. I'd never heard of him until a week ago. I even when I started hearing Bad Bunny, I thought, who the hell, what is a Bad Bunny? I didn't even know if it was a boy or a girl. And then when I went and looked it up, it was like a singer. It was like a singer. And then I didn't even, when I saw that, I didn't even know it was this big controversy over the halftime show. And then Turning Point goes and starts their own halftime show. And then everybody changes channels and goes to watch their halftime show because it came out that so the Super Bowl is reduced by 13% every year. 13% less people watch it. And so it's been losing its audience for a long time. And then at the halftime show, it was like 75% viewership or something, and then it dropped. And then 48% or something went over to Turning Point and watched, and then flipped back to the thing. But it was like, why would Turning Point even do that? Now that's just trying to start like beef over being racist, like, because now you don't want this immigrant, but he's not even an immigrant because Puerto Rico is America. So, yeah, but Turning Point, there's so many people coming out who work at Turning Point saying it's a scam. It's just it's just a money thing. Well, I thought, because I didn't know that much about Turning Point. I knew my mom watched, I mean, she watched Charlie Kirk every day. And so I had heard of it and stuff, but I didn't know how big it was until the assassination. And then, but then when Erica stepped in to be the CEO and all that, and then they did his memorial service, it was like, this is all about money. This thing is not, I guess, so obvious. And so, yeah, I'm not all, it's just about making money to them. But so there's all these people now who have worked with it coming out and saying, yeah, it's a big scam and it's just there to try and indoctrinate kids. Yeah, yeah, it's very cultish, especially when you have somebody like Erica out there is like pushing through, and then you have all these ex-employees now talking smack on it. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, but it does seem very, yeah. Who knows? Maybe they are. really are into Scientology or LDS or something. Maybe they're all those places are connected. They just come out in different names because everything is just about to get the money and to get power over the people. And they just reframe, what is that always called when they um, rebrand? So religion has to keep rebranding. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if it was not, if it wasn't, if you went back, that you wouldn't find Scientology was somehow involved in as or LDS or something, one of these big places. Because yeah, it's weird, and it's weird how big Turning Point is becoming, all because Charlie. I don't know. It's like they created all this controversy on purpose to try and get the people to go in that direction, and then they go around to all these schools to pull these. I don't know. The whole thing is weird. It is so culty. So yeah, it's very creepy. But yeah, we're gonna do our own halftime show. I was like, now you're gonna go up against the NFL? Like what? What in the world? That's so strange. Like, I don't know. Everything is so strange at this point. This whole world is so strange. Everything happening is so strange. The energy is so strange. Everything is just weird. And I'll be glad when it all starts making sense. That's what the thing is like when things start making sense. Because it's just weird at this point. Like, Turning Point needs to be exposed, government needs to be exposed, medical needs to be exposed, the corporations need to be exposed, the bankers need to be exposed. It all needs to be exposed. It's all a bunch of crap. And then we're all just stuck in it. And they just keep people stuck in it and keep people arguing about it. Like, man, there's so much like the sides. They just keep creating more and more to divide on. The sides just keep on going and going and going. So yeah, it's like they just want to keep people always in this thing of choose a side, choose a side, choose a side. Yeah, all about the money taken out for us to have none, for them to have it all, and to have power over us, to have power over our time, influence, mind control. So it is everything is this whole world is built on who's more powerful, and of course these old vamps and stuff, these people who are 1,000 years old. Which I swear to God, I said this morning after I was watching that somebody do a breakdown on that Justin Bieber song "Yummy," and he kept having these Greek and Roman statues in it. And the person was talking about that they were slave statues and stuff, and about the slavery of the kids and the poor and stuff back in those days. I swear to God, it's the same people. It's the same fucking people who are running this world, who were running Rome and Greece and all that. These same controlling people. It's just like we were slaves back then, and we got born into new lives, and we're still their slaves. Yeah, and the lies just it's so much about the lies, and just keeps so much division. It's just it's all so corrupted. Our whole existence has been corrupted. But it's like each of us have to individually make choices. So we have to choose not to align with their propaganda, because that's all they want us to do is just stay fighting with each other. And just is getting like it's getting way crazy when people are taking out their own kids over politics. It's like that's like getting way too it's getting it's reached a point of ridiculousness. Like you even want to just kill somebody over who they chose in November, who they thought would be a better leader, and then to think like that's worth killing somebody over. Because even the people who were all supporting of Joe or Hillary, you know? It's like, it's not the solution to go and wipe them out. But it's like definitely there seems to be a lot of people who think that's the solution. Just kill off the people who don't agree with you, and then we'll have a happy place. Well, no, it's not going to create a happy place. Where you have a happy place is where everybody figures out how to get along and not get so hung up on stuff, on people's opinions. And we all have different priorities and values. We're all looking for different things. And to think everybody is the same as you and looking for the same thing as you, and they all need to be in alignment with you, that is egomania. It's like something's wrong with the people who think that way. It's like you got to allow everybody to be themselves. You got to allow people to, you know, to make their own choices. I can't believe how people like even I was watching a girl who was it was the one who was talking about that they aren't just feeding us to the rich people, they're also feeding us to aliens. And I was like, yeah, and I was going to share a thing, but then she starts going on a rant. I've never supported Donald and I never will. It's like, well, that's some nevers. Like, how do they don't even like look at other information. They don't look at other sides. They don't want to hear anything that doesn't align with their what they believe. It's like that's what's going to hold you. That's a trap. You got to open your mind. You got to open your ears. You got to open your heart. You got to open up so much of your because your biases. You think nobody else has any value and you're not going to listen to anybody else. You got to open your mind and think like, because that's so ego. Like you can see it, you know, you can see it so clearly. It's like these ego mania has got people in the trap of being so closed minded and not opening up to possibilities, even in thinking that somebody isn't who you think they are. So, but, I still, uh, a lot of the people who, we came to thinking were not good guys throughout this stuff, if you had any kind of access to the Q, and if you were anywhere near Anon, and then, the people who we all thought were the bad guys, and people were looking into them and finding out all this heinous stuff about these people. Now, like for Harry to turn around and say, oh no, they're all good people, we're all just crazy. But that other guy, he said that those people, and he was before Congress saying it, those people have all been taken out. They've all gone to the charges that they've all experienced. They're all death penalty. The stuff about the crimes against the humans, that's a death penalty. And then TREASON is the death penalty. So these people are um, gone. And I don't even get, like, why is Harry? Because he's supposed to be, some big anon or whatever. Now he's like just totally flipping. I don't know. Everything seems so weird. So, because then it's more of that, you know, having to trust yourself. And so I think everything is about trying to open your mind and think more open in possibilities, learning to trust yourself, and just getting out of so heavy on the ego and moving more into more open-minded and stuff. But yeah, you can really see how our world is just being so led by ego right now. So it's crazy. So that's the thing that is going to be the big healing moment. So it's going to be something whenever it goes, whatever is going to happen, the big thing that's going to push people into having to go deeper into their healing is going to be a big hit on their ego. So it's going to be something that they think is going to be shown to be opposite of what it is that they assume. And that's going to hit them hard. And so, and then these little things that Donald's doing, like, well, I'm going to protect the pets, I'm going to protect the women, I'm going to do this and do that. Then, I don't know. That would all just be kind of leading into it. I don't think that's going to be the big thing. It's going to be bigger than that. So, I'm just curious, like, what is it going to be? What's going to happen? It's something big. Something big's going to happen to get people to see what they don't see. And because there's so many that are just under such mind control, and it's so ego driven. So, anyways, I guess we should probably be wrapping it up, huh, Crystal? Because it's getting close time for your class. And I'm just rambling, anyways. Just always talking my head off. But we should probably get going, huh? Does anybody else have anything they want to say before we go? Thanks for everybody for coming and chatting with us. Okay. Yeah. No, thanks everybody for coming and chatting with us. Um, oh, thanks. Thanks. Because I like to ramble. Thanks for listening. I'm a rambler. So thanks for coming and joining us. And then Crystal and I, well, hopefully all of you guys will all meet back up next Wednesday. But, until then, I'll still do my everyday morning chat. And so, but next Wednesday we'll all get back together and do this again. So everybody come who wants to come, and we will talk to you later. Bye.